welcome to Addiction of a Lifetime. I'm your host, Audrina, and on this episode I'm recapping Her Stolen Past. This movie stars not one, but two Degrassi alumni, Miss Anya and Miss Marisol, from the later seasons after the OG Next Generation cast graduates, but I digress. Anywho, so the girl who plays Marisol on Degrassi is the lead character, and her mom passes away in what seems like a robbery gone wrong in the middle of the night in a rooftop garage. And they're like, why was she in some garage in the middle of the night? She is a church-going woman. That doesn't seem right. But it happens. So she can't afford the mortgage on her mom and her childhood home. She starts packing up her things, and her best friend, played by the character Anya's actor from Degrassi, is helping her. As they're packing up things, she discovers a designer diaper bag with a birth certificate in it that's not her birth certificate. And it's a very expensive designer diaper bag. So she assumes that maybe her mom bought it at a thrift store and whoever sold it forgot it was in there. So she researches all night, looking up the name of the birth certificate, and discovers that this name of the birth certificate is a missing child from a very wealthy family in town. Anya, the actor who plays Anya, decides that, hey, I actually have a tennis buddy who's a private detective. Maybe he can help. They contact him, and he looks into it and finds out all these things about the family, and turns out that the family is just full of tragedy. The woman whose daughter was, his dad passed away, who owned this big company, and his successor, who was supposed to be the next CEO, passed away as well. So now the ownership goes to her current husband. And they're like, well, maybe the right thing to do is just return the bag. So they return the bag, but also he wants to double check on the Marisol girl's birth certificate, and it turns out there's no record of her actual birth certificate. So that means that she could potentially be the kidnapped child. So they go confront the family. The father, whose diaper bag it is, he says it is the diaper bag, but he doesn't want to worry his wife. She's already going through depression and all that from losing the child. Meanwhile, his adopted son comes in. It's like, you're just another scammer trying to get money off my family. His mom comes in. She's like, was that my child? He's like, no, we don't know. Don't worry about it. You'll worry yourself to death. Anywho, the private eye is still doing research, and they are just going on this weird loop of like deception and murder, and they eventually find out that the mom was at an adoption agency in the building, and that's why she was there that night, and the adoption agency mysteriously was leaving, fleeing the town, and they went to the church where she was originally kidnapped, and it turned out her mom used to be in the choir of the church. And then they talked to the original like babysitter of the church, who then makes a mysterious phone call and says they're on to us, and then ends up dead. It's crazy. So the DNA test comes back, and they actually tell police what's going on because so many people have died. So the police agreed to help the private eye look into the case. Anyway, the DNA test comes back. It turns out she actually is the rich people's daughter. Her mom accidentally got caught up in some illegal adoption that she didn't know was illegal. And, you know, yeah, she didn't kidnap the kid. Sucks. So they tell her biological father, supposedly, that she's her kid. But then she comes home, and her supposed biological mother is there, and then all of a sudden someone covers her mouth with chloroform, and she's knocked out, and she wakes up in an abandoned building, tied up, with her biological mom tied up as well, and the guy who's allegedly her father is the one who kidnapped them, because he was the one who arranged the kidnapping all along, because it turns out that the kid wasn't his, it was his wife's father's successor, who was going to be the CEO that she had an affair with, and he couldn't let her and him raise someone else's child. because the company wouldn't be his. So he arranged to kill the man his wife was having an affair with, who fathered the child that he thought was his but wasn't. And then the child that he arranged to get kidnapped by the babysitter, he paid her off so that the child would disappear forever. But luckily the private eye is smart and locates them and tells the cops that it's someone in the family who did it, and they found them and they saved the day just in time, and everything's back to normal, and she's able to afford the house and stay in the house, dating the private eye that helped her, hanging out with her best friend, and she has a biological mom that's very much alive. Thank you for watching Addiction of a Lifetime. I'm your host, Audrina, and make sure you subscribe to Addiction of a Lifetime on YouTube.